My name is Evan Kafka, and I'm a commercial photographer. After working 19 years in New York, my wife and I decided it was time to shake things up. We fell in love with Asheville, and by 2014, we were southbound. It's a great place to live, but most of my work is on the road. I'm primarily a portrait photographer. My photography is what you would call sharp. I strive for extreme detail, surrounding my subjects with light from all sides, giving them a 3D hyper-real quality, which I enhance further on the computer. That's Michael Stipe. He's amazing to work with. My portraits are ultimately inspired by 16th century European paintings. They are usually formal, sometimes to a fault. They are hermetic. I want to preserve my subjects. I strive to make something epic. I'm best known for my work in the studio. The director Sam Mendes once directed me to shoot his actors for a Shakespearean production. He told me to study the landscape of the face, and I've been pursuing this ever since. I look at the face like an object. I study how the light shapes it. When my daughter Sophie was born, I was compelled to study her in the studio. This photo opened my eyes to a whole new area of exploration. She's so beautiful. She was only 4 months, but look at her hair. She didn't get it from me. She was an extraordinary baby. It turns out that all babies are amazing subjects. They're the ultimate expressors. They're totally raw, totally emotional, and totally present. They perform heightened caricatures of the familiar faces we make as adults. This young man was pooping, which always yields something special. By the time my son Wyatt was born, I was shooting babies for national advertising campaigns. I had polished my technique and was ready to explore a new topic. He's also 4 months here. He still loves the camera. The sweet spot is really 6 to 12 months when they can sit up but they can't get away. Animals were the natural progression. They move a bit quicker, but are equally raw. The more varied the pedigree, the better. I like them crazy and fun-loving. I want just the right amount of disobedience. These are regular pets, not trained models. I try to reveal the wild side of domestic animals. Like the babies, I'm not really interested in making them look cute, although I often can't help it. And again, their expressions are relatable. They are familiar. That's our parakeet, Perry, on the right. Over there. My subjects actually have a lot in common. While some are more reasonable than others, each can be difficult to predict. They don't stay put, they're nervous, they drool, they're hungry, they're tired, their handlers get in the way, they just don't want to be there, but sometimes they want to perform. Their faces have peaks and valleys that can be explored. They have shape and texture, character lines. Their eyes have stories to tell. They're human. They have entered my workshop whether they like it or not. We are working together. Sometimes we don't hit it off, but we persist. And it's a lot of hard work. Things often go awry. I'm not shooting flowers in a vase or food on a plate. I'm collaborating with individuals and I'm at their mercy. It's not always about art. It's about problem solving, logistics, layout, and getting what the client wants. When asked for a smile, De Niro said, "You're going to have to work with what you get." That sums up the reality of my job. I have to accept what I'm presented with and do the best I can. He really didn't want to be there. To make it worse, he couldn't hear me. He couldn't even see me through the glass. But I thought it would work, so I made him do it. Speaking of glass, the stakes can be very high, and at most times when I try, I succeed. Luck favors the prepared, and my crazy schemes actually work. This was very uncomfortable for both of us. I'm laying on the ground underneath of him. Sometimes I have great partners on the other side of the camera who know exactly what's needed and offer something far beyond my imagination. For at my best, I am ready to receive what's happening in front of me. I don't want to direct. I want to observe, to capture. As a commercial photographer, I am tasked with executing specific concepts and requirements. There are often time constraints, safety concerns, there's wardrobe, hair and makeup, props and sets, art directors who want things shot a million different ways. There are about 20 people working on this shoot for Huggies. I never feel like I've got it until the shoot is over. We have either run out of time or exhausted and pushed all parties involved to their limits. We are taking down the lights, and I can finally sift through the day's work. A recent shoot where it all came together was this photo illustration for Time magazine, shot in West Asheville. Even in this town, we couldn't find an infant capable of holding the lotus pose. But we did find a 3-year-old, and those are her legs. This wonderful baby just happened to close his eyes and for a moment hold his arms out, touch his fingers to his thumb. Perfect. It's now the norm to build a perfect image with Photoshop. I don't know how many times I've heard, let's just fix it in post. I always try to capture images straight in the camera when I can, like this one. I guess he was thirsty. I think my experience with shooting babies actually helps me capture expressions like these. It was a recent ad campaign for an insurance company which turned up all over New York City. It doesn't get more gratifying than this. It's an amazing feeling. In the end, I want the viewer to be compelled to look at my work. These days, it's become increasingly difficult to get people's attention. I don't always exceed. I don't even know when I have. But ultimately, I want to create something lasting, memorable, and unique. Thank you.